Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another new season of Dota 2. TI7 has long been in the past, and now we are paving ourselves for a new path into the future. Is that poetic? I am Luminous, I'm joined by Tsunami, and you're watching the Starladder I-League Season 3 of the Chinese qualifiers. We're going to start things off with EHOME versus LFY, the number 3 finishing team of TI7. And Tsunami, thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm good. You say it's a new path, but it's still an old patch. What's up with that?
I don't know. Gotta talk to my man the frog. It's been a while now. Shouldn't we have a new patch by now?
4 months, I believe, is the tally. I mean, we've gone longer, so it's not like we're breaking any records quite yet, but people, the masses are restless,
I know.
and the competitive players are restless as well.
It's more that I think we're so accustomed to getting a patch maybe like 2 weeks after TI that I think this stretch of time has felt way longer than usual. Or am I just like remembering things wrong?
Part of it is because like the patches prior to 0.06 weren't like too dramatically different, because sometimes like in years past, maybe 2 or 3 months before TI, there'll be like a totally different take on the game, and then TI is like the first fresh competitive look at this new patch. But I'd say for the past like 6, 7 months, honestly, like after 7.02 or whatever removed all the respawn talents, I'd say the game has been mostly the same. Heroes have been rotating. Like, I know even at TI, Lich wasn't that popular, but suddenly Lich is like everyone's most hated hero in competitive and in pubs, and Necro and Venomancer, though Venom was really popular at TI. So, you know, there's still some evolution, but people just want everything to be burned to the ground and start fresh anew. So, I mean, I've been watching some King's Cup. Apparently, Jakiro is a big deal in North America. I was watching the CIS qualifiers for this tournament, and you know they had their own take with Navi and Spirits Grand Finals. So we'll see what China has to bring to the table.
Right, China, we have a new eHome squad. CTY's back, the 6-minute king, as he was once referred, being kind of a very strong laner. We got Old Chicken on position 1, and I believe he is the drafter for this game as well. Let me... Yeah. No, he's not the drafter. We got Y or Innocence drafting. Faith BN from former Wings, and of course HYM. So, I think first time that all...
Wait, so, nah, you're moving a little too fast for me, because I wanted to grill you on these roster shuffles, because I'm more in tune with Western teams in general. Maybe it's because their names are just easier for me, and I can't keep up with like Y and FY and all of this business. So I'm gonna ask you, where did HYM come from? Because so two questions: who did HYM replace on eHome, and where did he come from?
Alright, so I don't exactly remember the eHome squad, but I think his best performance previously was with Vichy Gaming, HYM.
Okay, that's correct.
And I think he played a 4 there?
I believe that's correct.
That's positive. Because Vichy always had FY, and I believe FY always played 4, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. In terms of who, like, I haven't seen eHome for like 6 months, I want to say, so I don't even remember what the previous iteration of eHome was. So I can't tell you who he replaced.
It was Garter.
Garter, okay.
Yeah.
Garter's a pretty big name player, dude.
Except, yeah, I know. That's why I was surprised that they decided to go with the shuffle, because meanwhile, their current opponents, LFY, were like, no, we're good. We made it so far in TI, we don't need to make any changes. My boy Monet was getting me mad points in fantasy, so I'm glad that he's still around.
Yeah, I think LFY to me was the second best team at TI. It was still unfortunate that LFY versus Liquid was, I think, the lower bracket final. I think the best of 3 in that set really was the grand final in terms of the quality of games. I don't know if you would agree with me on that point, but
yeah, I'd say it was definitely more back and forth. But I mean, like, Newbie looked dominant all tournament long as well. Everyone has their on days and off days, but
yeah.
All of China had an off day on the last day, it seemed.
Well, you mean Newbie. Newbie had an off day.
Well, LFY lost also.
LFY was on point, man. They took it to game 3. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
I think going into TI7, when you always talk about LFY, one of their major point is Inflame going to show up? And all over TI7, Inflame was like wrecking kids with Doom, and Doom is going to be selected for him. Now the question is like, okay, you took third place at TI7, you know, you're happy, you know, you got a month break. Is Inflame like back?
LFY.
That is going to be the question for this best of 3 today, because Inflame is generally not on point, honestly, but when he is on point, he is one of the best players in the world. So that is my question for today. And the other interesting thing is that we got a Lion pick. When the hell is the last time you've seen a Lion pick? Because Lion wasn't even picked at all at TI, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. China's always up to their own shenanigans. I mean, LFY seems to be pretty consistent with the pub scene, aside from Doom, but that's an Inflame specialty. But Necro and Lich, those are mainstays in these competitive games and pubs. But EHOME are up to some shenanigans. Like, Darkseer has kind of fallen off as an offlaner somewhat in favor of, like, you know, your Earthshakers and stuff like that, or Sand King. And Lion, like you said, completely unpicked throughout all of TI, which may have been somewhat unnecessary. I think the hero is good, but there's a reason why teams don't pick him, even against like illusion strats and stuff like that. But maybe EHOME are on the ground floor of 7.07, or maybe they're just trying to experiment with why he didn't work in 7.06.
I think the problem that the Lion has as a hero is that, like, if you consider his first abilities, I think Rasa does pretty much the same, except Rasa does more in the lanes because he has way more damage output in terms of harassing and stuff. And then when you look at the ultimates, I think a lot of other supports could give you a burst ultimate that's perhaps even better than Lion. So as a 4 or 5 position support, like to me, he is outclassed by some of the other heroes in the game. But I've heard rumors where some top North American players are experimenting him as a mid player, him getting to like level 20, and I think one of his level 20 talents is that you get like more finger of death damage, which seems pretty silly if you look at it from like a context of a support player, but as a core you hit that 20 relatively quickly and then you are zapping kids. Now that's not what we're gonna see this game at all, because I think Dragon Knight is gonna be the mid. But,
yeah, it's plus 300 finger of death damage, and way back in the day, Lion used to be a viable mid. Like,
yeah.
It was more often seen mid than as a support, but yeah, those times have fallen off. But that would be very interesting to see. I still think I can agree with what you're saying about he is mainly, like, if you want to pick him as a lane support, like you said, Rasta can be more superior, and he's kind of falls off in the late game as well. Hex is obviously an amazing spell, but you know, Mana Drain becomes kind of useless. Finger of Death doesn't really have as much relevance later on.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll see how he handles, I guess, supporting a Mirana, I guess.
Mana Drain is really nice if you're up against illusion heroes, and I think that's the only one game that Lion was banned. There was like a Terror player on the other side or something.
Yeah, I
they
think I
banned the
remember
Lion,
that.
and that's pretty much it. I do want to go back to your point where you talked about the Darkseer. He's not like a really popular pick in the current metagame, but I think in this game what he is really good for is that he allows Lion and Darkseer to be, or sorry, Lion and Sand King to be really effective before their blink, right? Because you could just surge them in, which is not something that you count on other games. So I think HYM and Y is going to be able to play much more effectively pre-blink dagger thanks to the surge. So I think that's one nice synergy with their lineup. The other thing to point out is that is Old Chicken playing the Sand King? Sorry, I didn't really get to.
No, it's HYM. Old Chicken's playing DK.
Right. Old Chicken's playing. Yeah. Sorry, I got confused. Isn't CTY supposed to be a mid player here?
Yes.
Yes.
Prepare for battle.
He is the 2-position player.
Wait, so who is Ooh? Is that like an actual stand-in, or is that like a mistagged
Who's Ooh?
person? My Mirana says stand-in 000.
Where are you getting this standing 00?
On my screen, I'm hovering over the blue player Mirana. It says stand-in.000.
I'm getting EHOME.Huo or EHOME.Fire.
Huo?
Fire.
Fire.
That's the Chinese character for fire. I don't know. what's happening here.
Okay.
I
Neither
should
do I.
switch
A
to...
lot of all talk, trash talk. What's
yeah,
up with
we're in
that?
the same game, right? Like, I'm not...
Well, I'm pretty sure people are talking in all chat, right? There were 2 lion picks at the same time, right?
Yeah. Well, 2 lion picks at the same time is probably like solar eclipses happening or something. Oh, okay. What? TP out.
How? Oh, they placed.
Yeah, they put the ward. All right, HYM not even gonna die. Yo, this is so next level of a pathway to freedom. They went into the pathway to freedom, Harriet Tubman style, and then they cut back out. And look at this Sudoku, the next level by HYM.
I mean, he gave gold to the Dire though, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, I guess going to Roshan would have been too long.
Each.
All right. Anyways,
I suppose. Okay, go on. Don't let my confusion hold back your casting.
yeah. So CTY is not playing mid. He's
Evidently not.
in
Old
the
chicken.
offlane. Okay. Well, this is a new look for CTY. We'll see. I don't know if this is like just a hero thing that they want to swap, because CTY normally plays like very flashy mid heroes like Qual, Ursa, things like that. Or is this a new role thing? We shall see.
Either that or it's some matchup specific type deal. I mean, Necro, one of his main claims to fame is this insatiable amount of sustains between the built-in Sadist on Death Pulse and the Heartstopper aura constantly forcing out the enemy, but DK can go toe-to-toe with that once he gets a point in Dragon's Blood, which he does not have yet, but once he does, then it's going to be a pretty static lane in the mid lane.
Alright, top lane. We're going to see a little bit of a harassing combo coming in. This is actually a fairly good dueling against the Doom. Doom doesn't have a lot of physical armor, or just armor period, and I think he might just get ran down here. Afu's going to come around to help him out. They need one more Impale. The Impale misses. Alright, just never mind, we're cool. And now they turn on the fire, Innocence. I think he's gonna be dead here.
Yep. Crush on the Mirage. She does not have leap.
Uh-oh.
Body blocks.
Second kill?
No. What? Do it.
I mean, worth 100% of the time.
Alright. Yeah, I'll take that. Sand King had to come over from whatever he was doing.
Alright, EHOME maybe too much RPGs and
Why does Sand King have 2 sets of TPs in his inventory?
He has 3 TPs total.
What a player. What is happening?
Oh,
is just because I haven't been watching Dota in a while that like China decided to be like, yeah, whatever, it's the end of the
No. He bought some TPs when he suicided, right? So I'm sure that
yeah,
some
but
of
then
those
Innocence
are
is like, no, I got you some TPs also.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, the chat is just as confused as I am, so... Oh, sorry for missing that courier kill, but...
For the dead.
Is this what happened? Where you drew the big circles?
Correct.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, what do you think about Lich as a hero? Oh wait, no, never mind. Hold that thought. We got a rotation on the top lane, and Doom is blissfully unaware.
He's got the fire
don't even
available and a stick, so it's really hard to kill.
And the Satyr aura.
Ooh, that is not the best chain stun ever. And are they gonna miss this kill? No, they are not. Nice follow up here by the line. This is where actually line is quite good. Is that Hex to me is perhaps arguably better. Well, definitely better than Rasa's Hex, right? Level 1 Hex gives you 2.5 seconds of disable.
But then the question is, if you're like the Sand King Rasta, I mean, not so much Sand King Rasta, but like Sand King AA was a very popular combination at TI, and so the idea is if you have a support with a somewhat unreliable setup for their stun, then it's great to pair Sand King with them, and so that's what made Sand King and Rasta so good, because Shackles doesn't have the best range at level 1. It's an amazing spell, but you need setup for it, as now Innocence kind of getting hemmed in, but...
Uh-oh. Crush is gonna hit here. Nice Hex to delay it. He's gonna walk under the tower range, but they will stun him under the tower range. The turn on the fire. And Innocence, oh, great arrow. Innocence will go down. The Impale will hit. I think he meant to hit both of them. And he didn't hit the Doom. Doom is gonna survive as a result here.
Dude, the Satyr aura plus the Scorched Earth is too much.
And now CTY is gonna die. Alright, this is really a clown fiesta. For the line, at least. some impales needs to be hitting on point.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of skill shots, and I'm seeing a lot of failed skill shots, but, you know, it's the hero hasn't been played in a while, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's just like, oh yeah, this is how it works.
And he was
I'm not playing
also
this assassin.
in a very awkward angle, so, you know. I guess that's fair. Arrow's gonna fly in here.
Top lane.
Ooh, sprint was turned on right as the arrow hit, so a lot of damage. Y walks in, easy impale. Well, this lane is actually doing a lot of work. They are dying a lot as well, but kills are being traded left and right.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Slardar is still like no one else from LFY has decided to help out top. Like Slardar is like, I want to go roam, and now he's gonna have to come TP back.
Radiant's middle tower
Mid
is under
lane.
attack.
Oh, chicken eats a Reaper side from
Now
Super,
top
survives
lane, HYM. Madness never ends, my friend.
it. Yeah, and they're still running a Mirana. Doom has that Orb of Venom, which is not something that you see too often, but within the context of, at least if within the context of an offlaner Doom, but he's getting a lot of right clicks in. They are chasing very aggressively, so I think the Orb has done a lot of work as well.
Yeah, for sure. Although, one might wonder if it's in LFY's best interest to play this Doom aggressive versus defensive. He's maxing out Scorched Earth as opposed to Devour, as now Slardar getting chain stunned. This is such a mean tri-lane.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so you'd wonder, like, maybe Doom should be maxing out Devour and just be like, screw it, I'm gonna go with jungle. I don't need to deal with this lane, but he's been maxing out Scorched Earth instead, wants to go aggressive, and they're killing off supports, they're keeping the pace. LFY is winning in terms of kills right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Doom's score, right, he's 2-0-3, so I think he's not really worried about dying. And you could make the argument that
9 less hits.
I think he's doing fine. Because Doom is such a strong recovery hero, thanks to Devour, that I think it's actually better off you get the strong laning spell of Scorched Earth. And now he is perhaps in trouble?
He's single-handedly zoning out a tri-lane.
Like, they can't kill him, right? Like, he has infused raindrop.
No, he can't. He has a raindrop, yeah.
And then, yeah, he turns
has
on the
Doom
fire.
now also, he's level 6.
And then forces a TP in from...
4 heroes.
Alright, that TP win, I think, was for the Shrine. But, safe to say, LFY winning, essentially, 3 out of 3 lanes. Bottom, I think, is heavily won by LFY. Top, you can make an argument that it's even, but LFY is being even with 1 less hero. And then Super is doing quite well in the mid lane. I don't know.
Might get rotated on, or Necro first.
Alright, Chainslang Galore come in. They are going to get the Necro. Afu comes in here. And now they're going to try fight another tier 1 tower. Inflame does have the Doom available. Probably doesn't want to use it. And now his fire's on cooldown for 10 more seconds. I think they're going to burn him down. 4 heroes in position. The Chain Sun's good here, and they are going to get the kill. Afu, left, right, and center. He is out of there. Alright, great rotation from EHOME.
Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit of math here. So, when maxed... Well, let's not say max. Okay, so Dragon Tail level 1, 2.5 seconds stun.
Okay.
Burrow Strike, when maxed, is, well, it's always 2 seconds. So,
Right.
we're at 4.5 seconds.
Yep.
Then we get an Earth Spike max is 2.6 seconds, so 6.1 seconds? No, 5.1 seconds. Right?
Sorry, where were we at?
That's why I had... The point is, there's, like, basically, like, 2 Beastmaster Roars worth of stun before a Mirana arrow comes in.
Yep. There is...
So...
There is, like,
Yes.
Special Olympics amount of disables in this game so far.
I got you.
Yeah?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Alright.
Yeah, so I feel very intimidated. Oh, that smoke gets instantly popped by Slardar. Yeah, I feel very concerned for this Clinks moving forward, because Clinks is not a hero who can really afford... Like, once one stun comes out, then usually, like, you go into Skeleton Walk, you just scurry away, and you're all good. But you're gonna get, like, instantly hexed by Lion the second you pop out, and
Right.
after that, it's just gonna be chain disable after chain disable, and Monet right now wants to go aggressive. You never really want to have to go BKB first item on the Clinks, or really any carry besides maybe Sven, but he's going for a Desolator after finishing off his treads, and that'll be great for damage, but it does nothing for you in terms of staying alive.
Yeah, so I think recognizing that he should be not really joining the fights. Like, his 4 other friends are really good for the fights, right? Doom is good for that, Necro's good for that. So I think when his teammates are fighting, he should just be hitting buildings. Like, so I think he's gonna be playing much more of a rat style, which Klinks I think has the toolkits to do so. And then he's gonna build up towards, you know, maybe a second or third item BKB like you suggest, and then he's gonna join the
so
fight.
like an anti-mage style Klinks kind of almost.
Kind of weird to compare anti-mage to Klinks, but yeah, kind of exactly like yeah.
Top lane, no scythe initiation. Yeah, Necro's been moving around a lot. I guess at this point he's come to terms with the fact that he can't really zone out a DK. Old Chicken has been doing a pretty good job. He hasn't really been getting too much, but he hasn't been dying, even though they have been putting a focus on him. Like you said, he got scythed up in the mid lane, but survived it. And so he's just going to farm up. I'm curious as to what he goes for. I wouldn't object to a Midas, but chances are he may go for something like an armlet, or...
For Old Chicken?
I guess I've seen Maelstrom, and I've seen Blink Dagger, yeah, for Old Chicken.
So I think Armlet is generally the most like cost-effective build, but going Armlet against Doom is always a little sketchy. Like, if you get Doom while having Armlet turned on, then you know you regret life a little bit. I think Drums is normally very popular, but looks like he's gonna go for a Hood first, which is a build that's really coming out from China, and I'm always very dubious of this build because Dragon Knight is not one of those heroes that scales amazingly into the late game. He's very gold dependent. And Hood doesn't really give you that much value, but hey, if a Slark could buy a Hood, if a Drow Ranger could buy a Hood, so can a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, but those heroes that you mentioned, Slark and Drow Ranger, also are good at dealing damage themselves, as now they're trying to kill a Necro.
Yep.
They surge up a creep, so that was a bit of a misclick, but Super is very tanky. He's got 17 stick charges, so there was pretty much no way they were going to kill him. Unless they get all their chains done, the aforementioned chains done, but... Yeah, I see what you're saying with the Hood first, and if they had a real legitimate one position, then I would be okay with it, as now Sand King gets doomed.
Alright, here comes Inflame, but the rest of the team is here. Leap forward. Arrow's gonna hit the truck.
Oh.
I wasn't really gonna hit that arrow, I think, anyways, but...
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm concerned as to where the damage is going to come from EHOME. Like, they have great disable, but then who deals the damage? And then who is going to deal the magic damage? Because you are going to have to deal with ice armor, and that's, like, as it is, a lot of times DK feels like he has a tough time dealing damage.
Yep.
When you have to deal with ice armor and you're getting kited and slowed the entire time, I think that he'd be more interested in building damage items rather than survivability items.
Yeah, it feels like EHOME has to get one of those dream teamfight combo, like a vacuum into a 3-man burrow, 3-man impale, that kind of stuff, to actually win a teamfight. Because they lack so much damage, like you mentioned. Here comes Innocence, runs right into a Doom. Might need to turn around a Hex. They pop the dust. And like, you're watching this, right? Okay, nice 2-man impale. They do have the combo here, but Chain Frost's gonna fly out, and this Chain Frost's gonna wear everybody away. Reaper Scythe's gonna get the 1 kill. HYM's on the run. I don't think they have any more detection, so LFY now turns tail. And you saw in that team fight, as soon as Doom turned on Scorch Earth, like they just like, okay, we can't kill him anymore. And then they have to run.
Yeah. He's and Doom is also going for a defensive build. He's got a cloak. I don't know if he'll finish it off into a full hood. I don't think it's necessary to finish off into a full hood, but this Doom is so tanky with these Scorched Earth, the Satyr Aura, and now Ice Armor is going to start kicking in as well. And then obviously you've got the heals from Necro behind him, so I think EHOME are going to need to reevaluate. At least their farm priority is now bot lane Mirana survives.
Yep. They have some good vision here, seeing the
top
teams.
lane, Slardar.
This is the reveal of the Blink Dagger here from HYM. Nice quick pick off. So, with the access of Finger of Death, I think EHOME can just go for these picks. They might not have a lot of damage to kill, let's say, multiple heroes in a team fight, but they definitely could start the team fight in a 5v4 fashion. And if you kill the right hero, let's say the Necrolite, I then think, you know, they have a good chance in these team fights. But then they have to start the team fight like that. If they mess up that kill, then you dump a ton of damage, you don't get the kill, and then, you know, your spells are on cooldown.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
DK finishes up his full hood as he pushes the top lane. Uncontested, it seems. Looks like the rest of LFY want to push bot, maybe get a Doom onto this Mirana if they can get the Mud Golem stun, but not in range. Oh, epicenter?
Okay. But it's a bait. They're gonna dump everything to the Doom. Doom's gonna be tanky. Chainfrost flies out, and Chainfrost is gonna do a significant amount. They finally kill the Doom, but Doom has a little bit of Doom links left. That Chainfrost is doing so much. Afu doesn't have his blink yet. Looks like it's being delivered on the courier. Man, had he had the blink, it's gonna be what, a 4-for-1 exchange in the favor of LFY. Well,
yeah, it was a lot of damage that they had to dump into a Doom, and he didn't even have the hood activated, which, like you said, they need to get perfect initiation every time. They have to assume that you're going to be able to jump the targets before they can react, and Lich was in the vicinity, he was coming in, but, you know, it was just the Lich. The Clinks wasn't ready, the Necro wasn't ready, and still it took that long for Doom to go down. And EHOME want to defend.
Or catch? Well, Burrow Strike's gonna be there. There's no way they're killing this Necro, right? Here comes the Blink Crush, reveals that Blink Dagger, and now the time fight turns the other direction. Mirana dead instantly. HYM's on the run. Afu gives a vision to the team, has Blink Crush in 1 second.
He has
Afu,
Blink.
yeah. And blinks forward. Okay.
No one's behind him.
He's respecting that back insta hex from the Lion. If he blinks in and gets hexed, things should get a little bit awkward, so.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, this is a...
And wow, Necro's going for Radiance next? How often do you see this?
I think
is this a China special?
No, I think it's more like we're snowballing so hard that there's no damage on the other side that could kill me, right? I think this is just a good read by Super in terms of he knows what he could get away with, and he knows he could survive against the pitiful little damage that's coming out of EHOME.
Yeah, because now Old Chicken's second item is going to be a Blink Dagger, which is also another non-damage item. I feel like they have like 5 initiators on their team.
Yeah, and not enough damage to back up that initiation.
Exactly.
I'm almost thinking like something like a Silver Edge that could help you initiate, but also give you a little bit more damage is more helpful.
I'd be okay with that, yeah.
Alright, I'm getting
because
a little...
attack speed is also going to be a concern.
I'm getting a little Kale. Are you getting it too?
No, not quite, actually. Okay. I'm surprised. Usually it's me over than you.
Yeah, maybe it's my...
I mean, I do have 240 ping, but it's a consistent 240 ping.
Oh no, not like this. Can I type dash ping? I have 140
no, but you can
ping.
type status in the console.
I think it might just be my internet. Holy shit. Not like this.
Kaling up big time?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll take the reins.
I'm sorry, boys and girls. We're gonna have some slideshow doter.
Well, in the meanwhile, EHOME smoke up and gets scanned out promptly by LFY. I don't know how they read that, but it was pretty good. It's possible they may have smoked in the mid lane underneath that dire ward, but LFY deftly avoid it and go over in their jungle.
So one thing that I think Dragon Knight, that I personally keep underestimating, and a lot of players do underestimate as well, is his talents are actually very good for kind of scaling into the mid and late game. I mean, just look at what you get, right? Plus 10 strength, you can get the 40% experience gain at 15. Some players get the 40 damage, depending on what you need. And then 20, that 120 GPM allows you to really play that catch-up game that Dragon Knight tends to play. So, Hood first...
Yeah, that's why I'm more often than not a fan of Midas on DK, because, like you said, those talents are so good, and they often replace items, because, I mean, you can go for that XP gain, or you can go for the damage, because the Midas is already giving you XP gain. Maybe you don't want to go in too deep, and 40 damage is a lot. That's like a demon edge of damage almost, HYM.
Alright, well, you gotta cast this play-by-play, because I ain't seeing shit.
Fair enough. Afu went up, blinked to the high ground, and Sand King was hiding in a little pocket. Thought he was safe, but once he got amp damaged, then it was curtains for him. And now we got LFY taking a almost certainly very quick Roche.
Alright, here comes EHOME trying to contest. No Blink Dagger on the Darkseer yet, so no way for him to sneak in. And I think Roche is going to Alpha.
too little, too late. They had resources, but there's this ward that Dire has on the high ground. So once that Moonlight Shadow came, they knew. They knew the whole time. Is now Courier goes down. Monet picks it off.
All right, I'm doing a quick reconnect. Hopefully, this will fix some issues.
Go for it.
Yeah. I don't think it's my net, but what can I do, right?
Yeah, because you sound fine to me. And usually you turn all Mr. Destructoid on me.
If I'm lagging.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
In the meanwhile, Super has completed his Radiance on this Necro, and he's the one who picked up the Aegis. He has a Blink Dagger queued up next, and I am still struggling to find a way for EHOME to get a way back into this game, because right now they're 10k net worth down at 20 minutes into the game, and they don't really have the best comeback heroes. Like DK, like you said, those taunts are great at kind of keeping him in the game. Oh, as now Afu crushes up the Darkseer. Faith Beyond gonna go down, but the Epicenter comes in. Burrow Strike connects onto 2. DDC is not able to get his Chain Frost off, and the Lich goes down. Right now, EHOME are looking pretty good. They're fighting right on their own shrine, but still Clink's managing to pick up a few kills. Lion is dead. 2-hero Burrow Strike. Are you back yet?
I'm having packet loss up the wazoo.
Scythe onto the DK. He's on the run. Gets the tail onto the Necro. And another stun onto the Doom. The chain stun is kicking in big time as now Burrow Strike also finishes him off. Monet trying to finish off HYM. Super, Necro, and Monet Clanks are the last men standing. But overall, like, not too bad of a fight. 3-for-3 exchange on both teams, but obviously the team that's behind is going to be perfectly okay with that.
How does it feel to be the only living man that saw that team fight?
It's an honor, a privilege, really.
Okay.
It changed my life.
Well, after the team fight, looks like the packet loss has been fixed. We're getting actual game now. So, alright, 10k lead here for LFY. And with the Radiance finish, as well as the Aegis on the Necro, I really don't think that EHOME could win any long drawn-out team fight. What EHOME really needs to do right now is to basically use their finger and get picks across the map, split up LFY. But I think it's very easy for LFY to just do 5-man Dota at this point on, right?
Yeah, and that's why, you mean, given that game plan, you'd think that EHOME would go for some super aggressive wards, but they need to play defensive, because even if they do find like one random target, you need all 5 of your heroes to be able to pick that target off, and so they've warded kind of aggressively. They had that one ward placed near the Dire Ancients whenever they went for that smoke play, and they have a few wards on the river, but you can see that EHOME have way more problems with Dire wards, as LFY have some super deep wards in their side of the map.
Gonna do a mid-game item check real fast. I think the key item that currently EHOME needs is the blink on Faith BN. If he gets it, you could start to think about some wombo combo, but man, Dire is just tanky off the fact that they're higher level. They have a pipe finish on Doom, and Vlad's soon to be coming on the Doom as well. It's gonna be super hard to get past Super, get to the squishy backlines, and do work.
I love Aura Horror Doom. It's like, many times I would play a Batten like that, but sometimes in the Batten, like, you will stand around, but you're not really irritating anyone. Whereas a Doom is constantly irritating, because Scorched Earth, like, you have to do something against the Doom. So, slapping all these auras on him, you're like, I don't want to have to kill him because it takes so long, but he's too useful to not. Has Blink Dagger, Initiation, Crush connects.
Okay, here we go. Chain Frost's gonna fly out as well. The wall's pretty good, but I don't think LFY care. They simply just walk past it. Doom is being focused right now, but there is absolutely no damage coming out from EHOME. Lion takes 1 strafe, arrow 2 of them, and he is just dead. Raxus are fully open now. All of LFY still very healthy. Aegis still available on Super, and they will claim the Rax easily. EHOME, I believe they will be losing this game. They're gonna try to fight it out. I hear Epicenter. It's flying on the left side. Nice 2-man Burrow Strike. They still have the Shrine available. Just look at the damage output of Monet. Does have the BKB that you mentioned. And now they are just running EHOME back to the fountain. Still everybody's surviving. Up to a 17k gold lead now, and LFY looking to take that second lane of Rex.
Yeah, this is what happens when a third place TI team goes against a not qualifying TI team.
I mean, I don't know if that's a fair statement to compare the two, but I guess so, you know. By the way,
this game specifically, I'm not saying that it'll be a common trend, but like LFY did practically nothing wrong, and EHOME tried to experiment with a draft with this Lion. It kind of worked, but LFY did not react the way that EHOME wanted. Yeah, they GG out. EHOME didn't react. Like, they kept just throwing bodies at that top lane. LFY was matching the pace with their Slardar Doom combination, and that's all that LFY needed to make sure that Super in the mid lane was fine and Clinks in the off lane was fine.
So after the first game, I guess you haven't. Did you get a chance to watch the PGL games as well? For some
No, actually, I didn't catch that one.
So EHOME in that tournament also, I think they got knocked down to the lower bracket. They won one game there and then they lost. So this EHOME lineup definitely has the big names, but I guess, you know, it takes some time to gel. We can't expect a new roster to form and instantly do well. Not everybody's Mineski. So, you know. But expecting LFY to really take this series very cleanly, because Inflame is playing on point. LFY as a team is playing on point. Afu is still God. And EHOME, unless they do something crazier, I don't think they'll be able to take LFY. But we'll have to wait and see. Game 2 is coming up next. We'll take a break and we'll be back.